Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another video covering a new application within the Terra ecosystem. Today we're covering Mars Protocol, a new application that allows users to borrow and lend with leverage yield farming. So as always, let's get straight to it. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Wajahat, and you know me, if there's a new application on Terra, I'm gonna try and cover it, especially if it's interesting like Mars Protocol. Yeah, let's just go straight into it and just show you kind of how it works, how you can use it, and why I think it's so interesting. So Mars Protocol, as it mentions on screen, lend, borrow, and earn with an autonomous credit protocol on the Terra blockchain. Just make sure that you go on the right link. There's lots of fake links around, and once you connect your wallet to them, they will drain all your funds. So just be very, very, very cautious with what you're going on to. So let's go on to the home page. The main page, the red bank, this is going to show us our portfolio, which is what we've kind of deposited and withdrawn, and our borrowing capacity. Like I mentioned, it's a borrowing and lending platform, so you can kind of deposit essentially lend your assets. So you've got Luna and UST available at the moment, and you can borrow the same assets again. Now you might think, Waj, why the hell is this interesting? We've literally got Anchor already, which allows us to deposit collateral in the form of B Luna, B ETH, B AVAX, wrap staked AVAX, and we can borrow UST against it. So we've already got Anchor. Why the hell do we need this? Well, the difference here is that we can deposit UST rather than those staked assets. And why that's interesting is because we can actually borrow an asset like Luna against it, and then we can sell it. We can essentially sell it. And you might think, why would we want to sell it? Well, if you want to short Luna, if you think Luna's price is going to go down, let's say it's at $100 today, and tomorrow you think it's going to go down to $80, well, you can deposit your UST, borrow some Luna against it, sell that Luna, and then tomorrow, when it's 20% cheaper, once it's gone down in price, you can buy back and close your position, and that difference would be your profit. So yeah, I think it's fantastic that this application finally allows users to short assets like Luna, and you can do that directly on chain using the power of DeFi. Really, really cool, really interesting, and I think we'll find a lot of strategies come out of Mars once we see a few more assets listed here. You know, I probably expect to see some of the other assets within the Terra ecosystem listed here fairly soon. I mean, I don't think that we're just going to have these two here from, just Luna and UST. We should see a few more. But yeah, I think that's really interesting. I mean, you can do the traditional way of kind of depositing Luna and borrowing UST, which you can do on Anchor as well. I think the other method is far more interesting, where you can kind of short Luna essentially. So that's fantastic. Borrowing and lending, yeah, it's so easy to do. I mean, all you do is you just click deposit. You'll enter however much you want to deposit. So if I want to deposit $50 worth of Luna, it'd give me my deposit balance, and yeah, it will show you your current deposit balance as well, which is really awesome. Yeah, so easy to use, cheap transaction fees, 10 cents, 10 UST, happy days. And then you'll see your borrowing capacity here. You'll be able to borrow a certain amount based on your deposit balance. Yeah, that's essentially how it works. Now, if we go to the My Station tab, here is where you'll find the Mars token. The Mars token, I believe you can deposit it, and yeah, I think it's a revenue accrual token, so kind of some of the revenue from the platform itself will go to the Mars token holders. So yeah, that's fairly interesting. But I think the most interesting aspect by far is the yield farming, and we've got leverage yield farming here. And how does this work exactly? Well, I think to appreciate it, you do need to have a good understanding of what yield farming is. Well, with most pools, you'll find that they have a 50-50 balance. So let's take this one, for example, Luna UST. You'll have 50% of your deposit in Luna, 50% in UST. Let's say you've got $100 of Luna. Well, you'll also need $100 of UST. Put them in together, so total $200, and you'll obviously earn the transaction fees and various different things, various rewards, from yield farming from that position. Well, one of the issues with that is that, let's say if you just wanted to hold Luna because you think it's going to go up in price, well, you don't really want to have to sell half of it for UST, because if you just had the full amount in Luna, you're going to get double the gains. Well, that's one of the issues with yield farming. And what Mars are doing is they're letting you keep that full amount of Luna that you wanted to, And rather than having to sell half of it for UST, you can actually borrow half of the UST directly from Mars themselves. And essentially what that means is you've got 2x the leverage. So that's really, really interesting. And that's kind of what we're going to cover very shortly. So you can see here that APYs as well, really, really quite nice. Now you might think, you might ask, why does it say Astro APR on the screen? Well, the reason is what happens when you enter these positions is that it gets converted into an Astroport LP. And so this position actually goes onto Astroport directly. So, even if I click, I don't have any mirror tokens in this wallet right now, but if I click buy, it should take me directly to Astroport where I can kind of buy some mirror here. So that's really interesting. And yeah, you've got some insane APYs at the moment, 151% on Luna UST. And bear in mind that you don't have to sell half of your Luna for UST, you're kind of leveraging it up to X. So how does it work exactly? Well, one of the issues as well at the moment that Mars has is that they've only got a specific amount of credit that you can utilize. So they only had 5 million UST essentially to supply for the Luna. That got filled up very quickly, as you can imagine. They still have some available for Anchor and Mirror, but they're not as exciting as Luna. So we'll have to wait for the credit line to increase, or hopefully some credit line to become available so that we can actually enter this position. But I can actually show you on the testnet, so that's what we'll do right now. So let's have a look. What do we need to do here? So let me just change to the testnet. It's actually very, very easy to set up. So let's say we've got $5,000 of Luna that we want to supply, okay? $5,300. Well, we can basically deposit that and we can borrow 5,300 UST from that as well. In total, that means that we've got a $10,000 yield farm, but we've only actually supplied $5,000 of Luna. So that's kind of where the 2x leverage comes from. Now, you don't have to make it 2x leverage. You can actually supply some of the UST yourself. So you've got this bottom slider here, which allows you to supply some of that yourself. So you can see here that, let me put it on 0 first, and you can see here that, our current APY is 145%, 146%. We've got a 2x leverage at the moment. And it gives us a liquidation price and all that sort of stuff as well, which is really interesting. Don't ignore this price because we're on the testnet at the moment. So the real Luna price would be, half of what Luna's current price is as of when you're watching this video. So, if we increase it all the way to 100%, well, we're not using any leverage anymore. It's just a normal yield farm. We've got 50% of the Luna, 50% of the UST. But you can see here that we can actually change it. So if we wanted to have some UST that we provide ourselves, you can see how the leverage changes. And I think that's so interesting. If you want to make it 50%, 75%, etc., you can do that. Or you can just keep it 0. And I think that's what I'm going to do right now. So we're going to keep it 0. So overall, you can see that we're supplying $5,000 of Luna. We're going to borrow $5,000 of UST. And that's essentially it. I'm going to do this transaction. Should only take a few seconds. And yeah, that's it. Our leverage position is set up. We're ready to go. We've got our 2x leverage, and yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? It's really amazing. So here you go. Here's our position. And what I really like about Mars is that the user interface and the user experience is just so nice. I mean, look at just how easy it is to kind of understand everything. So we can see our total position. I mean, we only supplied this much and we're borrowing this much, so that's why our position is worth this much. It's a 2x leverage yield farm essentially. I really like this, that we can see our estimated daily income. That's really cool. We can see our kind of profit and loss as well. Kind of APY or APR. I think this is APY that we're getting. So it's going to also compound those rewards that we're getting from Astroport. It's going to add them into the LP. That's fantastic. All we need to do is just monitor this. So, here you go, we can see. So the trading fees APR, so that's the trading fees from people selling Luna or buying Luna with UST. We've got the Astroport APR. We've got the base APY as well from Mars themselves, and then the borrow APR, sorry, because remember that we are borrowing UST here. Now on the mainnet it's not minus 77% because that's really high. It's way lower than that, so you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, that's essentially how it works. And look, you can see already that we're in profit just from a few seconds of farming. That's fantastic. I mean, you do need to be aware of the risk of liquidation. Crashes do happen in crypto, so you know, just always be aware of that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If we go to the council side, here's where you can actually stake your Mars into X Mars. You can see here that, you know, however many tokens are staked, all the different proposals. As I mentioned, I'm on a test net, so this isn't accurate. We'll have to go back to the main net for that. But yeah, that's pretty much how the leverage yield farm works. You can see here that it will constantly update. So I think many times during the day, your positions will get auto compounded. So you don't really need to worry about that. All you need to do is basically just keep an eye on it, make sure that you don't get liquidated, keep claiming those rewards. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Mars protocol, really interesting. I look forward to seeing the future updates, and I look forward to seeing projects build upon what we've got here at the moment. I think we'll see a lot of projects do that, so time will tell, of course. Yeah, that's all I've got for you today. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you've got any questions about Mars, or if you've got any questions about anything else, drop them down in the comment section below. That's all I've got for you today. I'll be back with another video soon.